It's time now to Ask the Expert. Here to answer your questions live on air about betrayal trauma is therapist Julianna Lyddon. Our first question is from Lisa in Phoenix. How do I know when it's time to talk with someone about it?
You know, this is a real thing, and it's a relatively newer topic that the mental health community is really trying to grab onto right now. You're going to know because you cannot get over maybe the rage, maybe the flashbacks, maybe the nightmares, maybe you just are being pulled into this trauma again and again, and you need help. It's a real thing. It's not just trying to get through a tough feeling.
And it's got to be so hard to keep it bottled up, you know, because some people could feel shame, they could feel embarrassment.
Yes, you're right. Not to mention, you know, the arguing that goes on often depending upon what kind of betrayal trauma you're dealing with.
Okay. All right, we have Jen from Mesa saying this. I was married 20 years and he cheated and just left. He was my best friend. It's been 3 years and I have a new boyfriend, but I can't stop thinking about my ex. I don't want him back. I just can't get over the betrayal. How do you move on with no closure ever?
Oh, it kills me. I hear this all the time. That is a perfect example of what I was just saying.
Yeah.
And especially when you don't have closure. That is so awful because how are you supposed to come to terms with this when you just...
You don't have an explanation.
Right. The person doesn't hold themselves accountable, which is one of the first things I do in my office. You have to hold accountability so that you can help the person heal. You need to absolutely reach out and get some help because there are a lot of modalities that can help you move through this effectively, and you can absolutely reduce that trauma.
Yeah, and we touched on it earlier with the hypnotherapy.
Yes, we did with the hypnotherapy and a variety of different things, EMDR.
Okay, all right.
Brain spotting.
Thank you, Jen, for sharing that with us. I know that was probably very tough for you. This viewer says, what should you do if the person who broke your trust stopped talking to you completely? This is someone I thought was my best friend forever. Oh, that's painful.
Oh, it is painful. And you know, what can you really do? Right? And so I try to tell people too, if someone has betrayed you in some way, you mentioned it. A lot of times there's a lot of shame involved in this. And for whatever reason, sometimes it's a lot easier for people to just cut and run.
Right.
And so is it important to stay in that relationship when that person is going to be behaving like this and again, not holding themselves accountable? You've got to come to the table and you've got to work this out. There's a lot of healing that has to take place.
And that's not the kind of friend that you'd want to keep.
So, you can move
in
on.
a painful way, you know.
It hurts. And you know, again, she may need to deal with some of her trauma as well because it can happen in a variety of ways. It's not just infidelity.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. This viewer says, my last partner cheated on me. Now I feel like everyone else will, and I'm constantly suspicious. How do I stop my own behavior? Wow, that's very intimate.
Boy, yes. You know, here's the thing. I tell people, when you have been through this experience and someone cheated on you, be very careful in the new relationship because what you're doing is you're taking that baggage and pain and you're layering it onto the new person.
And that's not fair.
It's not fair. And the person often says, hey, wait a minute, give me a chance to prove that I can be loyal.
I didn't do anything yet.
Now again, here we come back to, this is why I'm saying the same thing over and over again. Trauma needs to be healed. You can't just tuck it down. It's going to show up at another time.
Right.
So get some help to move through that.
And break the cycle.
Right. Okay. Break the cycle.
Okay, we've got, no, you know what? I'm sorry. We've got more questions, but we've run out of time. Clearly, this struck a chord with so many of our viewers. And next week, you know what? When you come back next Wednesday, I do want to talk about that hypnotherapy.
Wonderful.
Because I think that really resonated with a lot of our
viewers. Yes,
so,
it really helps.
Yeah, thank you so much.